My name's Charlie, and this is my story. I grew up in the church, a good, sort of strong New Testament church, but I literally slept my teenage years in the tech team booth. So while I was exposed to it, I had a context for the gospel. I was about as far from acceptance as you can be. It wasn't really until my 30s that I came back to Jesus and had that strong draw back to Christ. So I can't tell you the date of my salvation. I don't really have that lightning strike moment. There's no eureka for me, really. I guess it's that process of becoming. But it's that process that I found is sort of how God's worked in me. So I'll give it to you in process form. Step one, marry well. My wife really is my rock, right? She's diligent, faithful prayer warrior on my behalf. Really, her talking to God about me and asking God for my salvation and for my becoming is really what I think has kept me alive. I can't say enough nice things about my wife. She's awesome. She's the person I respect the most in the world. Of God's many gifts on this world, she's the most important one in my life. Step two, find a church. So we searched for about a year before we found Hope. We went to a bunch of different churches in the area, but none of them seemed like the right fit, all a little too big or a little too small, and no place we could really call home. So we went to a church here in Cary, that's near here, I guess, on a Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, and there are no cars in the parking lot, which feels weird. Maybe they're big walkers or they bicycle a lot, I don't know, but we never opened our doors. We knew that was not probably the right fit for us. But as it happens, that week I had seen the sign on Buckjones Road for Hope, so I told my wife about it, and she had seen the same sign that week. So we figured that's a good one to try. And the awesome thing is, this church started at 11:15, so when we got here, they hadn't started yet. So we got the parking lot, and it was what we were looking for. There were cars, there were people, crazy guy with Mickey hands waving in traffic. That felt like a church, that felt like a fit, and we weren't even inside yet. Well, once we got inside, we were hooked. Step three, get small. So about a year after attending Hope, they had a sermon series that was speaking a lot about small groups. And so we attended, but to be honest, this did not speak to me. I wasn't feeling this one. It's not my idea of a good time right there, the sitting around in a group of strangers talking for an hour. But my wife is my rock, and so I figured if she was with me, I could do anything for an hour, right? So we went, and I gotta say, I was totally wrong. It was awesome. I've really grown to love this group of individuals that we share our lives with. My small group leaders, they really just mean the world to me. I love Guy and Regina Sorrell, and I've learned more from them in the years we've been attending small group than I did 8 years in Christian school as a child. Step four, serve. So they had a sermon series again on serving, and we really felt the tug of the Spirit. We had been here a couple of years at this point, and we really wanted to give back. We took a lot of inspiration and a lot of strength from the church, and we wanted to be a part of that for other people. I think probably due to whatever the nature of that series was, I didn't want it to be about me. I really wanted it to be about helping other people. And so when I reached out, I told them I didn't have a preference where I served. And when I did that, I really thought that I'd be, scrubbing toilets or compacting trash or washing animals. I don't know what I thought, but as it happens, they stuck me in the kitchen, which really would have been the place that I would have picked if it had been left to me. And the really cool thing about serving then and now, in fact, is I see these really interesting parallels all the time between serving at church on Sunday and working in the office all week long. And it gave me, it was a real example of how to deal with those same kinds of issues because the same issues were happening at work. It gave me an idea of how to address those in my commercial workplace as well. And so I've gone on to serve in other capacities at the church, but I still see that same thing. God uses serving as a way to show me how to interact with people outside of church as well. So like any process, there's an output at the end. And the output for me really is that becoming. I saw somebody today, and he was looking for somebody to talk to. And I remember being in that same place 8 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever it was, where I didn't have God in my life. And it was a moment where I knew that I needed God in my life. It was just a low moment, I guess, right? Everybody has their own baggage. But that process of becoming, it's an ongoing process, right? I continue to be refined. God's at work in my life in all kinds of places, relationally, professionally, and spiritually. So from my experience, the Word, the body of Christ, relationships, those parts have always been at play. But small groups and serving for me were really the catalysts of change. They accelerated that rate of change. I can't say enough how much those two organizations have meant to me personally. They are what is changing my life. So I'm Charlie. This has been my story.